Oh, my friend, how many times have you felt the need for someone else to grant you comfort? How many times have you pinned your hopes and happiness on others, only to find yourself surrounded by disappointment? This is not your fault. Rather, it is a natural result of clinging to those who are outside your control. But let me tell you something. The solution has always been within you. In this episode, I will talk about how you can become self-sufficient, find the strength within you, and learn the art of living with complete independence. This is not an easy path, but it is the only road to true freedom. Focus with me because this journey will change everything. Before we begin, if you feel this video holds real value, don't forget to like it and subscribe to the channel if you want more of this kind of content that touches the depth of your soul. Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk, exchange visions, and build together a community that values depth and awareness. Learn how to become the best companion to yourself. Imagine one day you enter an empty room with no one there but you. No phone, no noise, and nothing to distract you, just you and your thoughts. How would you feel? For many people, this moment might seem like a punishment. The idea of being alone with yourself may seem frightening. But let me tell you something. If you learn how to become the best companion to yourself, this moment will transform from fear into comfort, even into joy. You are the only person who will accompany you through all stages of your life. Friends may come and go. Your family may be around you, but in the end, there's one constant truth: your existence with yourself. So how can you spend your life running away from this existence? Stoicism teaches us to be self-sufficient, but it's not just about independence. It's about building a real and honest relationship with yourself. Ask yourself, when was the last time you spent time with yourself? Not while scrolling through your phone or watching TV, but in quiet moments, listening to your thoughts. When did you reflect on what's going on inside you? When did you write about your fears and dreams? We often run away from these moments because we fear what we might find. But here lies the secret. If you face yourself courageously, you will discover a treasure within. Imagine sitting with yourself as you would with your closest friend, talking, thinking, questioning, and answering. This is not a luxury, but a necessity. Because if you don't learn to be your best companion, you will continue to search for this companion in others, relying on their presence for comfort. But the truth is, no one can understand or support you as you can for yourself. I want you to start with a small step. Dedicate a daily time, even just a few minutes, to sit quietly. Ask yourself, how do I feel today? What do I want? What worries me? Over time, you will find that this habit becomes a source of strength. You will realize that you no longer need to run away from yourself, but will begin seeking to meet yourself daily. Marcus Aurelius said it wonderfully. Look within. Therein lies the fountain of good that never dries up. You already possess everything you need to be self-sufficient. Just give yourself a chance. Never rush, and observe how your life will change. Learn to say no. Have you ever felt that you say yes even though you don't want to? Perhaps because you fear disappointing someone, or because you think saying no will make you seem harsh or selfish. But my friend, let me tell you that this feeling is what steals your freedom, and perhaps even your self-respect. Saying yes to everything means that you put others before yourself and allow them to infringe on your time, energy, and even your values. Why do we fear saying no? In truth, this fear often stems from our desire to be liked and to please others, even at the expense of ourselves. But Stoicism teaches us the simple truth. Those who truly respect you will not be upset if you set boundaries. On the contrary, when you say no, you are not rejecting the person but the situation. You are saying, I value my time and needs. This does not mean you are selfish. It means you understand your worth, and that is a great thing. Seneca had a famous saying, we don't have much time, but we waste much of it. If you give your time to everyone and every request, you will find yourself losing control of your life. But I know it's not easy. When you face someone asking you for something, you may feel obligated to agree. But remember, every time you say yes to something you don't want, you are saying no to something else that may be more important to you. Perhaps you are saying no to your comfort, your inner peace, or even greater opportunities that deserve your time. I want you to start gradually. Try saying no to a small matter, maybe an invitation you don't feel like accepting, or a request you think can be postponed. Notice how you feel. At first, it may be unsettling, but over time, you will discover that no is one of the most powerful words in your life. It is not just a word of refusal, but a declaration of your values and boundaries. Remember, my friend, you do not live to please everyone. You live to be true to yourself. The power of self-respect. Let me ask you, have you ever stopped to ask yourself, do I respect myself? I know the question seems simple, perhaps even strange, but think about it deeply. Self-respect is not just words we tell ourselves in practice. It is the way we live our lives, the decisions we make, and how we allow others to treat us. Self-respect begins within. It is your recognition of your value, independent of others' opinions of you. Imagine you possess a precious treasure. How would you protect it? You would build walls around it and ensure only those who value it have access. Now imagine that this treasure is you. If you allow anyone to belittle you or ignore your needs to please others, you are simply wasting this treasure. Stoicism teaches us to seek strength within ourselves, not outside. When you respect yourself, you do not wait for the world to grant you that respect because you already possess it. Marcus Aurelius said, "Do not undervalue yourself by comparing yourself to others. Each of us has our own unique worth." This is the essence of self-respect. But what does this mean practically? It means being honest with yourself, knowing what you deserve, and not settling for less. It means setting clear boundaries with those around you, because those who respect you will value those boundaries. Self-respect is not just about how others treat you. It's also about how you treat yourself. Think about the decisions you make daily. Do you make them based on what you truly want, or based on what others want? When you respect yourself, you begin to make decisions that align with your values and goals. You start saying, "This is the path I want, and this is what suits me." I know the path is not easy. You may encounter people who don't like this change. Some may try to criticize or belittle you. But here lies the real challenge: to remain steadfast. Respecting yourself does not mean seeking everyone's approval. It means placing yourself where you deserve to be. If you've made it this far, you're an amazing follower, my friend. Write the word enough in the comments so I know you stayed with me until the end. When silence becomes your best advisor, I want you to imagine this moment with me. You are in the midst of chaos. Voices are overlapping, news is accelerating, and opinions around you are shouting non-stop. Everyone is trying to grab your attention, convince you of something, or make you feel a certain way. Now imagine that in the middle of this storm, you decide to be silent. You stop talking, arguing, and listening to all this noise. Just complete silence. Silence, my friend, is not merely the absence of words. It is a space for thinking, reflecting, and returning to yourself. It is a moment where you escape the chaos to rearrange your inner world. The Stoic philosophers considered silence a powerful tool. Marcus Aurelius said, "Do not let the noise of the outside world steal your inner peace." And this peace he speaks of can only be achieved when we learn to be silent. But silence is not always easy. We live in a world that makes us feel that silence means weakness, as if speaking is the only way to prove our existence. But the truth is, excessive talking often weakens us. When you speak too much, you reveal more than you should, opening a door for external ideas to invade your inner world. Meanwhile, when you are silent, you retain your strength, your wisdom, and your peace. Silence gives you time to think before making any decision. How many times have we spoken impulsively and regretted it later? When you are silent, you give yourself the chance to think about the consequences of your words. Sometimes the best response you can offer is nothing at all, as silence is more eloquent than any word that might be said. There's another aspect of silence. It is the best tool for handling difficult situations. When you are confronted by someone trying to provoke you, what do they expect? They want you to respond, to get angry, to defend yourself. But when you remain silent, you take away their power and put the situation in your hands. Silence in these moments is not an escape, but the highest form of control. Try to give yourself a few minutes of complete silence each day. Sit in a quiet place, close your eyes, and listen to what's happening inside you. You will discover things about yourself that you didn't know. You'll find that some thoughts need time to form, and some emotions need space to be understood. My friend, when silence becomes a part of your life, you will begin to see things more clearly. You will become wiser, calmer, and more capable of handling everything you face. Because silence is not merely the absence of sound, it is your full presence with yourself. Do not fear it, embrace it, and you will see how it transforms your life. The power of being your own hero. Have you ever thought about waiting for someone to save you? Maybe a friend, family member, or even luck? There are moments in our lives, my friend, where we feel weak, helpless, as if we need someone to come and carry this burden for us. But what if I told you that the person you're waiting for is you? Let me clarify something. We live in a world that plants in us the idea of relying on others, that there is always someone who will help us, who will take our hand, who will change our lives. But the truth is, no one will save you in the way you can save yourself. Any attempt to seek the hero outside of yourself will leave you stuck in a cycle of waiting. Stoicism teaches us something profound. True strength comes from within. When you realize that you don't need anyone to solve your problems, you will find a strength within you that you didn't know existed. Being your own hero means taking full responsibility for your life. But how do you become this hero? The first step is to stop looking for excuses. Life is full of challenges, and it won't stop testing you. If you spend your time blaming circumstances or others, you are wasting your energy. A true hero doesn't complain about the darkness. They light a candle. Second, you must believe that you are capable. Many times, we are the ones who put barriers in front of ourselves. We fear failure, rejection, and appearing weak. But true strength is not in avoiding fear. It is in facing it. When you confront your fears, you will discover that you are stronger than you ever imagined. Finally, remember that being your own hero doesn't mean you don't need anyone. It means you know when to ask for help and how to stand on your feet afterward. To be your own hero is to be your source of strength and to know that you can overcome anything on your own if necessary. My friend, when you start seeing yourself as the hero of your life, life will begin to transform. You will feel empowered, free, and at peace because you won't wait for anyone to grant you happiness or save you from your struggles. You will realize that you hold the key to everything you're searching for. So don't look for a hero outside of yourself. Be that hero. Freedom is not free. Have you ever thought about the meaning of freedom? Not just physical freedom, but psychological freedom. True freedom. The word seems simple, but it is full of complexity. We love the idea of freedom. We dream of it and talk about it as if it's a natural right that requires no effort. But my friend, the truth that no one tells us is that freedom is not free. Freedom requires sacrifice. It's not a state that comes to you without a price. When you choose to be free, you are choosing to take full responsibility for yourself. And that, in itself, is no easy task. Because once you are free, you no longer have excuses to blame on circumstances, people, or luck. Everything becomes in your hands. Let me explain further. Many people live their lives as if they are prisoners. Prisoners of their bad habits, prisoners of their fears, prisoners of others' expectations of them. We all know this feeling of being shackled, unable to move because we fear breaking the chains. But Stoicism teaches us something profound. True freedom starts from within. It is not in owning or controlling others, but in controlling yourself. Marcus Aurelius said, "If you want freedom, then give up everything that controls you." Think about these words. What controls you right now? Is it your fear of others' opinions? Is it your habits that you know are ruining your life? Or are you shackled by your desire to please everyone? Freedom begins when you stop allowing these things to control you. But this isn't easy, because breaking free requires courage. To stand before yourself and admit, yes, there are things that control me. Yes, there are fears that stop me from moving forward. And then you start working to break these chains step by step, day by day. Freedom also requires discipline. It may seem strange to say that discipline is the key to freedom, but think about it. The person who blindly follows their desires is not free. They are a slave to their impulses. Meanwhile, the person who controls themselves and chooses wisely is the one who truly lives in freedom. My friend, true freedom is not about doing whatever you want whenever you want. It is about being the master of yourself, choosing the path that suits you, even if it's the harder one. It's about freeing yourself from the chains you've placed on yourself or that the world around you has placed. Remember, freedom is not a gift that comes to you from the outside. It is a state you create with your own hands. So be ready to pay the price, because when you live free, you'll realize that the price you paid was nothing compared to what you gained. Your happiness is not in anyone's hands but your own. My friend, let me ask you a simple question. Is your happiness in your hands or in someone else's? Think about this question honestly. How many times have you felt sad because someone didn't give you the attention you expected? The truth, my friend, is that happiness that depends on others is not true happiness. It is like a shadow that changes and disappears with changing circumstances. When you place your happiness in the hands of others, you are giving them a power they were never meant to have, the power to control your mood, your day, and your life. Stoicism teaches us a great lesson. Your happiness should be independent of anything external. Things like money, relationships, and even success are all temporary, unpredictable, and unreliable. Epictetus said, "Do not make your happiness depend on things you cannot control." These words carry within them a profound secret. But how can we live by this principle? How can your happiness become independent? The beginning lies in redefining the meaning of happiness for yourself. Happiness is not always a state of joy and elation. Rather, it is a state of inner peace. It is knowing that you are okay, no matter what the circumstances around you are. This requires practice. Just as an athlete trains to strengthen their muscles, you must train to strengthen your mind and spirit. When you face a bad situation or someone tries to provoke you, pause for a moment and ask yourself, do I want to give this person or this situation the power to control my happiness? You will often find the answer is no. And when you start working on this, you will notice something amazing. You will discover that true happiness is not in what others do for you, but in what you do for yourself. It is in those moments when you value yourself, when you sit with your thoughts and find peace within. My friend, happiness is not a destination we reach, nor is it something others grant us. It is a state we create with our own hands, through our decisions, and in the way we choose to view life. When you realize that your happiness is in your own hands, you will live with a freedom and peace that no one can take away from you. So stop searching for happiness outside of yourself. Look for it within, and you will find it waiting for you, always, because it was never in anyone else's hands but your own.